God is speaking to people who have identified themselves as being His people, saved people, Christ followers. That's who He's talking to. So when we read 2 Chronicles 7, 13 and 14, we can understand that this passage of Scripture or these verses have been written to people who follow after Jesus Christ. Christ followers, children of God, Christians, those of us who have been born again. So I'm here to tell you that what God says in these two verses, He is also talking to Ronnie Coleman, and He's talking to you. Our God is a holy God. In other words, as children of God, we can't just go out here, oh, I'm saved now, I'm secure, I'm heaven bound, so I can just go out and live life the way I want to live it, and I can dip back into my old lifestyle and do whatever I want, and everything's okay. Listen, God's going to love you unconditionally, but God will also not let you and I get away with our sin. God will chastise His children. Maybe in our own personal lives, we've become so accustomed to some stuff that we are doing that is anti-Christ and anti-Bible and anti-moral that we've just become cold to it. And it's time for us to march. March where? March to the altar. March back to God. March to God's forgiveness. Is basically acknowledging that God is God and we are not. It's acknowledging that He is Lord. It's acknowledging that we are weak and we absolutely need Him. The opposite of humility is pride. Man, you know what sent so many people to hell? It's pride. Pride. You know what's kept so many marriages from moving on and doing what God has called them to do and be what God has called? Pride. Because you want to be right all the time. Pride. Come on, guys. Pride. You know what keeps us from moving forward with God? Oftentimes it's pride, and it's time that we humble ourselves. And when we are moving and marching toward the person of Christ, we are acknowledging that we can't do this thing. It's time to pray. It's time for children of God to pray. It's time for the church of the living God to pray. We cannot do this. Little prayer, little power. More prayer, more power. Much prayer, much power. Too often what we are looking for in our lives is for what God can give us. God, give me, give me, give me, give me. I wish we could record our prayers sometimes and go back and listen to them. Our whole prayer is, God, give me, 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 give me. God, give me, give me, give me, give me. Yes, I understand that we can ask of God because the Bible tells us to ask. If we don't ask, we're not going to get. But we spend all of our time saying, God, give me, God. God, I need. God, I want. God, I need. God, I want. God, come on, God. You know what God says? What I want you to do is seek my face. When's the last time we got on our face before a holy God and we didn't ask Him for anything? All we said was, God, I just want to spend some time with you. I have this against you. You have left your first love. What does that mean? You have lost your passion for God. Oh, you're still going through the Christian motions. Man, we got people all over America and in our churches, and I'm sure in our church here today, we got people that are going through the motions. You're here because you got to be here. You're here because you have a responsibility. You're here because it's just what you do on Sunday morning, because you know that you're supposed to come to the house of God. You're here, but I wonder how many people in the church today, we're all guilty of it from time to time. We go through the motions, but we lose our passion for God. You see, we practice the right stuff. We do the right things. But we've lost our passion for God. And God says, listen, I want you to seek my face. People say, well, where's God? I don't feel God. God feel like God's left me. God ain't going nowhere. God's not going anywhere. If you don't feel close to God, He says draw near to God and God will draw near to you. Listen, friend, God is still standing right here. It's us that we drift off from time to time. And it's time to get our passion back for the things of God. You can't stay down here. It's where you receive power. On your knees before God. You got to march to the altar. But then, you got to get up. Everybody say get up. You got to get up. You got to go out these doors right here. There's a second set of doors right there. You go out those doors, guess what you do? You walk home or you get in your car and then you go out into the world and you live your life. But as you're living your life, watch this, as you're living your life, everywhere you go, you share your story. You tell people what Jesus Christ has done for you. God didn't call us to sit. God didn't just call us to kneel. God called us to get up and walk out and march into this world and tell this world about Jesus. It's time to march.